Hi people, thanks for coming to the channel. So, if you've come across a few of my videos and you like what you see, if you like the content, you're interested in the sort of things I talk about, then please consider subscribing. And to my existing subscribers, thanks again. I really want to reiterate, I appreciate all your support. Um, Even if you don't watch the whole videos, maybe just watch a little bit of them. Even if you take time to comment, maybe you multitask, maybe you watch the video and do something in the background, whatever it is, appreciate it. So thank you. There'd be no point in making videos if no one was watching. Um, Today I want to talk a bit about interaction, particularly online. Now, this is not a video about the whole dynamic of social media because I think that would take numerous videos. I think that's a complex subject, but rather it's about um, how I approach, let's say, differences online or debate. Because I mean, I've been involved in countless exchanges. Anyone who's active on social media will probably say the same thing. On news reports, on forums, etc. I mean, countless over the years, just many, many, many. Um, when I connect with people, I'm talking about Facebook here, predominantly Facebook. When I connect with people, it's usually because we have something in common. Either it's a shared view about something, or we're mutually in a group. Um, but I've never ever approached it as wanting an echo chamber. I've never approached it like I'll only accept people who agree with me because I honestly think that would be, I mean, it would be comfortable in the sense that you'll never have exchanges, you'll never have arguments, I guess. But the problem with an echo chamber is you're not, you might start wondering about sincerity. It's a little bit like, if you're a famous musician or actor and you're surrounded by yes people. So I suppose I'd make that comparison with an echo chamber. That's why I don't want it. I think it's healthy for people to disagree sometimes. And I'm proud to say that I have a very diverse range of contacts. I'd be lying if I said they're all friends. Most of them are acquaintances, but they're diverse. They come from a range of political backgrounds and viewpoints. They are a range of nationalities, you know, all over the world. Um, Different faith groups, sexual orientations, you name it. It's very diverse, and I'm proud of that. Not because I'm box ticking, but because it just makes things more interesting. But there are certain things I draw a line with. Now, yesterday I got into quite a testy exchange. The subject matter was the gun issue, right? And I've made no secret about the fact that it's something I feel strongly about. But basically, suffice to say, the person that came onto my timeline about this, what he was doing was basically being contrarian for the sake of it. Now, I know the guy fairly well. I've had a lot of conversations with him. He's by no means, he's not American, incident, he's British. He's by no means what I would call a real hardline gun person. That's not politics. I do know a few people like that, and I'm honestly pondering at this point if I want to still be connected with them. Because honestly, after what happened at Uvalde, um, when 19 children are gunned down, it puts perspective on things and to teachers. But anyway, so I don't think that's his viewpoint, but he was just being argumentative for argumentative sake and getting into this is a strategy I've noticed that program people use a lot, which is to get into the semantics of what a particular weapon is, its particular caliber and capacity and so on. Now, of course, that's important. I'm not suggesting that it isn't. But what irritated me was that he was really, really homing in on the fact that I'm not adept at this. I don't know all the terminology. I'm not a gun expert. I don't hunt. I don't shoot as a hobby. So I don't know all the names of particular models. I don't. And I'd be lying if I said I did. But I was trying to make the point that it's about the bigger picture because the relatives of children who are gunned down, they don't really give a damn if it's an AR-15 semi-automatic or an AR-15 style automatic pistol or whatever it is. They don't care about the semantics. They care about the fact that an unhinged teenager could legally access a firearm, regardless of what sort of firearm it is, and go into a school and gun down their children. So it got a bit testy, but I think it's one of the longest threads I've ever had. Actually, it went into like 100 comments, and I don't usually get into those sort of situations. But he was coming out with such nonsense and such distortion that I had to counter it. And it wasn't, that he just came in insulting me. It wasn't like that, but it was quite subtle, and but it was obvious what he was doing, and it got right on my nerves. Um. We're still connected, but I'm sort of pondering now. This is the second time we've got into a testy exchange about something. In fact, it might even be the third time. So at this point, I'm wondering, well, we're in a mutual group. We have agreed on some issues, but I'm wondering now. It's getting to the point where, see, I always take the view that if the ratio changes, so for example, let's say I agree with someone on three subjects out of five and I disagree on the other two, that's okay. But if it starts getting like I disagree on three out of the five or four out of the five or five out of the five, just as a example, I start wondering what is the point? Because I don't expect people to always agree with me, but when people start just being negative for the sake of it and just constantly criticizing your positions or questioning your positions seemingly just because they get a kick out of it, it gets irritating. It does. So that's where I draw a line, and I particularly draw a line with people insulting me. I mean, you start getting into, I'm ignorant about the terms of the guns. Now, I was honest. I said I don't know all the terminology. I don't know all the specific makes. But, I was upfront about that, and to get into basically calling me an idiot on my own timeline and so on, it was aggravating and disrespectful. And yeah, I'm now thinking about what's the point because we hear often that social media is toxic. Well, life is short as well, and I honestly think it's just not worth it sometimes. Sometimes it really is better to just accept that you're not going to meet someone halfway. I'm not saying that shouldn't be a goal. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with trying to, meet someone at a halfway point. But if you have strongly held views on a particular subject, I think it's a matter of integrity, not to compromise on those things. And I think when you get to the point where the other person's view is such a polar opposite that you just can't respect it, then you do wonder what's the point. I think that this idea of respect all opinions is nonsense. Because if we're being honest, we don't respect all opinions. You can't respect an opinion that you think is morally wrong. That's just stupid. What you could do is respect the fact that people have different opinions. Saying respect the opinions themselves, that's just stupid. It's a stupid um, proposition. Respect all opinions. No. What you could do is respect people's right to have a different opinion. Respect people's right to think what they want. But respecting the opinions themselves, that's totally nonsense. This isn't to say that if you disagree with someone that, oh, we're enemies, and no, I mean, sometimes I've disagreed with people and I've sort of reflected on it and thought back and thought, well, maybe they had a point about that. Maybe I need to reevaluate this. But anyway, I just think that I get annoyed with people who are contrarian for contrarian's sake. They just seem to like arguing, okay? And I don't mind debate. Um, you know, I think it has a place. And I do think if everyone simply agreed all the time, you would start wondering about sincerity. You'd wonder, well, do they really agree with me? Or is it like, so yeah, I honestly think debate and differences of opinion is fine. And sometimes that will be strongly worded. But when it starts getting into it being the constant situation, you do wonder about it. You do wonder what's the point. Um, so let me know if you've had a similar experience. With incidentally with YouTube, it's a bit different. Um, some of my subscribers, I know you guys and girls because you comment a lot, but I've got 1,800 subscribers. Most of them never comment, so it's a bit of a different dynamic on YouTube. Nevertheless, I appreciate all the support. But likewise, I'll just say this briefly. The only people I've kind of discarded here or blocked is people who are trolling. Like they'll come to my channel and they'll get into ad hominem attacks about my appearance or whatever. You know, the hell with that. I'm not going to. That's just obviously trolling. But it is rare, I have to say. The majority of comments on my channel are reasonable and mature. Some of them aren't agreeing with me, but they're made in a reasonable way. So respect, fair play. Um, Uh, Okay, I'll leave it there. Let me know your thoughts.